In today's launch event, we have international dignitaries who are also seasoned entrepreneurs. Today we have Gunjan Sinha, the chairman of Opengrowth, a visionary, a serial entrepreneur, and business leader. He currently serves as the executive chairman of Matrix Stream. His journey from India to the boardroom in the various organizations in Silicon Valley is a true inspiration. He is guided by the power of serendipity, or in other words, finding something beautiful without looking for it. So I would like Gunjan to share his thoughts on entrepreneurial education.
Thank you, Akriti, and good to see you all. It is a proud moment for us all to be here today. And thank you, Priya, and rest of the Open Growth Academy team to be putting together this panel here. And nice to be here with you all, Shelly, Neeraj, Brittany, to be discussing Open Growth Academy. And to all the participants who are here today listening into kind of our view on one of the things which I firmly believe in is entrepreneurship is the ultimate education. It is the ultimate empowerment, especially in a world where we want to seek diversity and inclusiveness. It is the ultimate form of freedom, wealth creation, and a vehicle for societal impact in my books. Especially when you take entrepreneurial education at a grassroots level and you make it a key driver in empowering young people, that's when the magic happens. In my mind, when you start teaching people the basics of entrepreneurship, which is simple things like art of negotiation, how to promote social skills so students can communicate effectively from an early age, where they can learn how to talk about profit and loss, how to talk about return on investment, understanding financial metrics, gross profit, net profit, differentiating assets, and so forth. Those are the skill sets that actually empower you to start to build products, build businesses, and do that while you're learning and working. But and perseverance. And I can tell you that I feel these are things that can indeed be taught and learned. There's a nice book by the title Grit by one of the authors. Her name is Angela. Angela is one of the foremost authorities. The last name is Angela Duckworth, and she talks about that the biggest determinant for long-term success is grit, and it's an element of what creates real intelligence and real success over the long term. When you bring passion and perseverance over a long period of time, that's when real success comes together. It is not based on your IQ. It's not based on anything else, but it's on your grit to be able to make things happen and to persevere for a long-term goal. So when you think about entrepreneurial education, I feel this is the tool that prepares you for the future that's ahead of us. And talking about the future, I feel we are living in an uncertain future now with what has come out of the pandemic. We know risks are galore. We just experienced one last year. But also when you look at the technology itself, World Economic Forum actually did a recent study. In the next 25, 30 years, literally half of today's work will get automated because of AI and machine learning and new technologies. So what it means for all of us is that we've got to look at entrepreneurship education as a forcing function to develop life skills, business skills, problem-solving skills, teamwork, empathy, all of those things that help you to create a path of success and learn to accept failure as a given model of how you succeed. So when you think about the world in which we live with the uncertainty of the future, given what's in front of us and the power of entrepreneurship, that's when the magic happens. You always, in the entrepreneurial journey, you want to leave room for creativity and collaboration. And creativity and collaboration is an important thing that I feel is clearly been missing from our curriculum, college. Even when you work, most of the time, creativity and collaboration is kind of stifled. We want to stir that creativity and collaboration and innovation, and that's what entrepreneurship is about. So the entire education system has to retool itself to prepare itself into the future where, as I said, half of the jobs are going to get automated because of technology in the next 30 years. And that's the opportunity for Open Growth Academy. And that's the opportunity for all of you who are here today to think about how to embark on your own entrepreneurial journey, because this is the ultimate career. Entrepreneurship is the ultimate career. It's the ultimate education, as it gives you true and genuine and authentic freedom. So when I think about entrepreneurship education, it's about collaboration and creativity. And in that regard, at Open Growth Academy, we have created a community model where you can actually build these communities where people can come together to collaborate, learn from each other, and actually become creative. But we've also created an Open Growth hub where you can actually collaborate effectively with each other and learn from each other. So it's not just about taking courses or webinars, which of course we will have plenty of. It's about how you bring collaboration through community, through the hub, and ultimately the knowledge sharing that happens through online remote learning courses, webinars, and so forth is where you stir the real creativity and collaboration. And the whole goal of all of this is to learn from each other about how to identify the right problems to solve. So problem identification is a key skill set. Some problems are worth solving, and maybe they're worth solving for you because you bring the unique skill set and you bring the unique perspective that allows you to solve those problems. So how do you learn what problems to solve? So I call that problem identification. But then the flip side of the coin is, how do you then also learn the skill sets to solve those problems? So it's not just about identifying the problem, but also learning how to solve those problems using technology, using capabilities that allow you to be disruptive, to come out with new business models and new approaches and innovations to help you do that. And that, when you marry that problem identification and problem solution capabilities with your ultimate grit and a psychology of peak performance, that's when the magic of entrepreneurship comes together. I think Akriti said it earlier, I'm a big believer in serendipity. Serendipity is a magical discovery of good things even without looking for it. How do you stir serendipity? Having your community, your entire, so to say, digital village helping you to help you succeed. Whether it's your mentors, whether it's your peers, together, so that you can actually make serendipity happen to your advantage, to A, identify the right problems to solve, and B, learning the skill sets to then solve those problems. So that's the power of ultimate entrepreneurial education. And we do all of these things, in my mind, to actually not just make money, not just for wealth creation or making a significant impact, so to impact the world in a better way. So it actually, entrepreneurship is the ultimate vehicle to make the world a better place, because through this, you can actually look at the world and solve problems that are worth solving. So this is what prepares people for the future. This is what prepares societies for the future and countries for the future. I feel, what we are trying to do here at Open Growth Academy is to rethink about how entrepreneurial education ought to be thought differently moving forward. How do you make the world a better place? Through the power of serendipity, through the power of identifying the right problems, learning the skill sets to solve those problems. How do you develop your grit? As Angela Duckworth mentioned, grit is the single most important factor in a person's long-term success. And I want to state that again. This is the passion and perseverance that you bring together. That's the definition of grit. And how do you build a psychology of peak performance that allows you to actually perform at a higher level than others? And this transcends gender. This transcends what grades you got in your school. It transcends your intelligence, your socioeconomic status. It really does not matter. We have seen entrepreneurs from all walks of life come together and be successful. So at Open Growth Academy, we want to make sure that we truly bring that diversity and inclusiveness at the forefront. We are starting our journey focusing on how we bring people right now in India, but ultimately we want to take this globally to be able to teach and learn from each other on entrepreneurship and the key skill sets that we bring to the table here. So this is the tool that prepares us for the future, and this is entrepreneurship is the ultimate mechanism and an ultimate form of education. I firmly believe in that. So, with that, let me just turn it back over to Akriti. But I can tell you that I'm very, very passionate about it. I feel entrepreneurship has to become ingrained deeply into our society. One of the things which I feel is, if you teach a child how to read early on, they can actually outperform people when they actually don't know how to read early on. So there've been scientific evidence of people who learn to read earlier. They can actually understand up to 1 million more words than a child who has not read at the same rate by the age of 5. So entrepreneurship is something where if you start to practice entrepreneurship, learn entrepreneurship early on in your career or into your life, you will actually outperform others, and that's how you kind of build your ventures and your successes and impact the world in a favorable way. So this is a vital skill. It's a vital capability, as basic as reading and writing, and we want to turn entrepreneurship into a commonplace grassroots capability that we can have inspire millions of entrepreneurs around the world moving forward.
Thank you, Akriti. Hello, everyone. I'm Priya Nath. I'm the Director Community Operations for Opengrowth Academy. And I would like to thank each and every speaker today for taking out their time, and your insights were extremely valuable for all the entrepreneurs over here. I see that we still have some time and we have few questions that have been asked by our audience. So I would like to take the first question. This is for Gunjan. And the question is that, Gunjan, we talked about problem identification. So the audience wants to know that how can we identify problems in the first place?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question. And I kind of look at the problem identification. I say necessity is the mother of invention. So you have to start looking at what do you need to start with. Most of the things that I've done it for myself. Sounds as selfish as it is. When you solve problems that you have and then you open it up to the rest of the world, that's when the actual entrepreneurship kicks in. So, I still remember when the dot-com bubble burst. I personally had a massive setback in how, the stock market kind of collapsed. And that gave me the idea for risk management. So most of the things that you do to try and figure out what needs do you have, and that's the good starting place, because then you have the conviction, then you have the passion and the perseverance to solve those problems, because this is a problem that you truly care about. So that's one simple technique that I would follow. The other thing I would say is that look at what you actually know very well. So stay in your sphere of domain and influence and understanding so that you can solve problems where you actually are uniquely positioned to solve those problems. So those are the two advice I'll give you is focus on what you know and focus on your own needs, and then open it up and make that available as a solution to the whole world.